Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Choi John. If you guys are new, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell by today's title that this video is going to be things that I would tell my younger self. I originally got this video idea because I've been seeing a lot of my favorite YouTubers doing it, and as well my friend Basana has made 2 videos about this topic, and I just loved watching her talk about it, like all the advice that she would give her younger self. There's just so many things that I wish I could tell my younger self. Okay, so I don't even know how I'm actually gonna attempt to do my makeup and talk at the same time. I honestly always wonder how people do it. So the first thing that I would tell my younger self is that not everybody has the same intentions as you. And the reason that I say that is in the past, and I still, even till this day, I hold people to the same standard that I hold myself. And I feel like some people would never do certain things or just cross a certain type of line because I personally would never cross that line. And it always kind of comes off to me as a shock, like when they do. It's like, how can people do stuff like that? Or how can people just screw people over like that? And the one thing I've really just learned is that people don't have the same heart as you, and people do not have the same like moral code as you, or you don't have the same, same ethics, the same values, or the same principles. So you can't expect, just because you would hold yourself to a certain standard, that they would hold themselves to the same. People are definitely raised a lot different and move a lot different too, and I feel like that's something that I had to like get used to. The second thing that I would tell myself is that be careful who you put yourself around, and I honestly cannot stress this enough. I feel like if there's one thing that will bring you down in life, is who you choose to put yourself around and who you kind of let in your space. Honestly guys, who you decide to keep around you is so important. And I felt when I was 18, 19, literally until maybe 20, I just never really took a moment to just like step back and kind of analyze everyone who's around me. And there's definitely a reason for that. I think it's because I didn't have expectations in myself, so I didn't really set any for anybody else who was around me. So I was just honestly going with the flow, doing whatever, letting the worst people, oh my god, the worst type of people around me, like I wasn't even doing much because the people who around me weren't doing anything. Like, you know what I mean? Especially when I was 18, I think the only thing that we really cared about was going out, partying, and doing that, and that was pretty much the end of it. Like, we weren't really concerned with trying to even build our lives or trying to really do anything meaningful or purposeful at that time. Yeah, I feel like 21 is when I woke up. 21 is actually when I kind of wanted to start doing like positive things with my life, and I wanted to actually start getting serious, and I actually started taking like a look at like everyone who was around me. And that's actually when I started even reflecting on the people who were around me when I was like 18, 19, like as well. And I had to be honest with myself, and I just let really bad people around me. And I feel like the only way that I can explain that is because I just did not have a standard for myself. So I just kind of gave everybody access to me. I felt like I really started to notice that is when I kind of wanted to start switching up my life. And it was like, I can't keep thinking that me being around these people who aren't really that motivating, like they're not really doing anything. I felt like I was one of the most like motivated people around the people I was hanging out with, and I feel like that's just like the biggest problem. I'm sure you guys hear that all the time, but if you're the only person in your group that wants more for themselves or wants to do better, you have a freaking huge ass problem, because it should not be like that. Like, you shouldn't be the person that everyone kind of looks up to in your group. Like, or you shouldn't feel like you're the only person who's actually trying to like do something like meaningful and purposeful with their life, because it's just never going to work. First of all, you're never going to feel motivated to do anything, because at the end of the day, motivation honestly comes and goes. But I feel like maybe the only way that you can be disciplined, or even to kind of like keep pushing yourself, is if you see people around you kind of doing the same thing and people being on their grind as well, because people's motivations kind of like fluxes. So it could be a moment where maybe you're feeling like you're not feeling that motivational, but your friend is still out here grinding, so that's gonna push you even more to keep going and not want to give up. Versus if you're the only one in your group who's trying to motivate themselves and nobody else is doing anything. Imagine those days when you're not even feeling that motivated, or you just want to give up. That's exactly what you're gonna do. You're just gonna give up, because it's gonna be like, what's the point? Why am I keep trying to, attain what I'm trying to get? Why am I trying to push for success when nobody else around me is even doing it and they're doing fine? So you're just gonna want to give up. In 2017, one of my friends hacked my Snapchat. I was honestly such an idiot. Like, I was just I was too trusting. And this is what I mean when I really had to like tell myself, like, not everybody has the same intention as you. You can't just be going out there and just trusting people so easily because you think they would never do no wrong, because you wouldn't do any wrong. I gave out my Snapchat password to about like 4 people that I was like extremely close with. Well, at least like I thought so. I never really thought it was that big of a deal to give out like my Snapchat password, just because if I wanted to, okay, maybe if I was just being a shamara, I sent my friends a snap of somebody's snap, but they didn't have them, I would just be, oh, just log onto my snap and like go view their story. Like, I never really thought much of it. That's how I would just like give my password to them. So I'm on my Snapchat, I'm just like scrolling through my stuff, watching stories, and then all of a sudden my phone glitches and it logs me out of Snap. I go to try to go like relog on, and I couldn't log on at all. It just kept saying that my password was wrong, and like it just would not let me into Snap. And I couldn't even go reset it because like the email that I had put on the Snap was a really old email that I had no access to anymore. So I couldn't even like just go on my email, and the password was pretty much gone. I didn't really think much of it because like, there was no activity on it. Nothing like went on, you know? So we kind of moved. I just made a new Snapchat and went about my day. Then the next day, why did the worst thing happen to me? Like, so someone had gone onto my Snap, went into my memories, and just like started posting snaps degrading me. So the message that they were clearly trying to send out was they were trying to portray me as just this huge thought and just this, you know, person that talks to like this many guys and just all that, because all the snaps that they would put out would be snaps of literally me and my guy friends. One of the snaps they put was like a personal snap that was just for myself and that I saved on like my Snapchat. It wasn't even honestly anything that serious, but they put it out there. The caption was like, oh, holla if you da-da-da, you'll get a discount. That's like trying to make it seem like if I'm some freaking prostitute or some shit. Like, you know, the whole message was that they were just trying to give out that I was some freaking thought. The people that they were trying to like target me with, it was obviously somebody, like it was a very personal attack. And the really messed up thing is it was obviously one of my friends who did it, because there's only, I know there's only 4 people that I gave my password to. My longtime like childhood best friend, my sister, my cousin, and then this other girl who had it. So obviously it was not my sister, and it was not my childhood best friend, because like the content and like whatever they were saying, no, she wasn't even involved in that crowd or anything like that. So it was not her. So it pretty much came down to those 3 people. And the messed up thing is I wasn't on beefing terms, or I wasn't in no situation with any of these people. Like, I was on good terms. Like, I'm thinking everything is all straight. So whatever went into their head that one day just to decide to go into my like go into my Snap and go do that, that is honestly between them and God, because I have no freaking clue what went in their heart to like just go do that. I feel like that's the prime example of not everybody has the same intention as you, and be careful who you keep around you. Because I'm thinking these people are my friends, I'm kikiing ha-haing with them, and yet you're literally plotting on me. Who even like thinks about doing stuff like that? Like, if you obviously did not like me, why are you around me? Like, why did you have to go do something so evil like that? Why are you around somebody that you don't like? That makes no freaking sense. And the only way that you can feel like to get them back for whatever whatever I did to you, or whatever your reason was behind doing whatever you did, was to go do that anonymously. Like, you're a coward. I'm really thankful that I'm not like a vengeful, I'm not even doing my makeup. You guys, I can't do this. I'm really thankful that I'm not a vengeful person, and I kind of like, what can I really do in that situation? Like, I don't have any proof of who it is. Like, I can't really do much in that situation but to really let it go and to like watch how I move going forward. The only thing that really gets me by is at the end of the day, like, karma got them. They ended up getting what they deserved. Even if I don't know what that is, like, I know God did whatever he had to do, you know, justice is freaking served. But that's definitely one thing that I wish I could go back and tell my younger self. Be very careful about who you decide to keep around you. Another thing that I would tell my younger self is to not let people's idea of you become your idea of you. And the reason why I say that is because I felt like I played into everybody's role of what everybody's idea was of me, like the idea that they formed in their head like about me. And I think subconsciously, like, I just became it, because I was like, oh, well, people already think this of me. Like, if they already think this of me, then whatever, I'm just gonna be that, you know? Even though I knew in my heart like that all these things and how they're trying to portray me like to be is not actually me. I always knew that in my heart. I felt like I honestly went through this period where I don't know what the heck it is with Edmonton people. I swear to God, when Edmonton people do not like you, or maybe it's just your hometown, when you grow up and you freaking know everybody and knows your business. If people don't like you, like, they really don't like you here, and they're out to get you. And I honestly felt like from 18 to like 20, I felt like people in the city were honestly out to get me. Like the things that they would say and the situations like that I was in, I was like, yo, like these people hate me. I don't even freaking know what I did to them. Like I couldn't even tell you like what in their heart, the vendetta that they had with me. Because the crazy thing is they really had it with themselves, because I did not give them the same energy or the same hatred like back. So I don't know what the heck it was. The only one thing that I regret is that I played into the role of their idea of me, even though that was not me at all. And I think it comes for many reasons. Like I felt like people always try to make me seem like the aggressive, dark skinned, ghetto, Sudanese girl. And I feel like this is more towards the guys. I was around a lot of toxic ass guy friends who I thought were my friends who clearly were not, because these people were like out to get me, and I have no clue why they hated me. And the messed up thing is that we were friends. Like you see like how I don't know what the heck was wrong with me and why I kept myself around these people for so freaking long. But I felt like in so many situations I just played into their idea of who I was, and that was it. It's like whatever confidence that maybe they would see me, I don't know why I would irk them like so bad for me to even think that I'm fly, or for me to even like feel somewhat or remotely like good about myself. It would like piss them off. It's like they just couldn't even understand why, looking how I look, I could even like feel confident the way I could feel, or I could think that other guys would want me. Like I don't know why that pissed them off so much. And I don't know if it's because they're battling with their own little self-hatred of blackness or whatever the hell it was, but they honestly made my life a living hell, and I just played right into it. Like I honestly played right into it. Like I became like this freaking ghetto, aggressive, dark-skinned black girl. Like I just played into it. And I'm so freaking mad at myself for it, because it was never me. Like I'm not the type of person where if stuff goes off, like, oh, I just want to throw hands from the jump. That's not the core of who I am. That's not who I am. If you think that's me, then you don't know who the hell I am at all. The only reason why you're thinking that is because you're just judging me off of what I look like. You think that I should be like that because you think that people who look like me are like that. I always feel like dark-skinned girls always get painted to be this aggressive. They're always almost painted to be like masculine. Like I felt like they were trying to masculinize me. They were just trying to make me feel like so masculine and like not feminine. And they almost made me feel like I can never be feminine because of my skin tone, which is so freaking ridiculous. And it would drive me crazy, because if you know me, I feel like I'm the girliest person. I'm very girly and I'm very feminine. So that idea of them, or you know, that idea that they had of me would just, you guys, it drove me crazy. Like I never told anybody, but honestly would drive me crazy till this day. I don't like when people refer to me as aggressive. I don't like when people, you know, refer to me. I don't like that word. Do not call me that. It literally gives me PTSD, because that's not me. I'm not gonna put it on them entirely. I mean, I played a huge part in it, because at one point I was out here freaking rumbling in these freaking streets. Like I did not care, and it was like, for what? For a freaking boy? Oh, the fucking ghetto. You guys, it's so ghetto out here. It's someone needs to come rescue me, because wow, oh, it was so ghetto out there. Who does that? These people were like feeding off of it. Like I swear to God, anytime it was like, oh, Troy got into a fight with da. Everybody went out. The next day Troy fought. These people were living for it. It would be the freaking talk of the streets for like however long they freaking pleased. I'm not even joking. I honestly truly never even wanted to fight, like deep down in my heart. But for some reason, my young self thought like I just had to. Like, this was it. It is the Royal Rumble. You have to give it your all. And that was it. Or I felt like I had to do it just like to be cool or to prove a point or freaking something. I didn't even know I was like playing into this game that they were literally running. Like these people were playing me. Like I must confess, like I was being played. I was like a freaking puppet, and it's just so bad. And I think again, I said it all has to go back to I just did not have a sense of self. I did not have a sense of self-esteem. Like I just didn't. Like my self-worth was obviously clearly not that high at all. Like the fact that I could just be pulled in any direction. I was honestly fighting like so much. Streets of downtown White Ave. I was just there. Didn't serve me no purpose, because then at the end of the day they'd go and say whatever they had to say about me, and how can I even say that it's not true when I just did whatever I would play into it, and it was just so bad. It was just like these people were like tarnishing my name to the max. They'd go and tell people like, oh, she's gonna fight you, she's gonna do that, like almost try and make it seem like I'm Godzilla, or that other girls would fear me, just all this shit. And I just like fucking hated it so much. Like when something is not you and people are trying to make it attached to you, it's gonna drive you like nuts, especially when you know like that's not actually who you are. Like I would go like, that's not what's in my heart, like that's not the type of person that I am, you know. And it would pain me that a lot of people would think that I was like this, and I felt like I had no control, and I was just like playing into it. Just a big part of just self-destruction. Like I feel like that's the only thing that I can really call it. That is one thing I would tell myself. You do not need to be the idea that people make of you in their head. That is with them, and that is not with you. Just because they think that, you know, someone who is like you should be like this and be like that does not mean that you have to be it. I feel like a lot of black girls get sucked into that, and it's not freaking fair at all. And even at the time I didn't even realize that that's what they were doing to me, but that's what they were doing to me. Another thing I tell myself is don't be around people who don't value you. Make sure that you put yourself around people who truly value you and nothing less. Because at the end of the day, there's people out there who love you and who see your friendship as like everything. And they're never gonna like, you know, underplay you or undervalue you. Like it's not a good feeling to feel like you're undervalued, especially in a relationship or friendship that you value so much. It's just like not worth it. Another thing that I wish I did when I was younger was just to get to know myself like a little bit better. I felt like I was just out in the mix way too much for me to ever really sit down and like try to figure out who Choi John is, or like what it means to be Choi John. And with that being said, just kind of learning stuff about myself and figure out what I like what I'm good at, and just like figuring out me. I just never did that. I just did not know myself. I didn't know anything about me. I didn't even bother to try to get to know me around those ages. I feel like I always say this. I felt like until I was 21, like I was just like sleeping. Like I don't know what the heck I was doing. Like I felt like my inner self and my inner everything did not wake up until I was 21, until I was in a really dark place, you know, mentally. I feel like that's when I like woke up. Like until then, like I don't even know what the hell I was doing. I felt like I was just living life on autopilot. Like I was just cruising, not registering, not like you know what I mean? It was just a very bad way to live. Like I love being in the company of my own space. Like I like being alone and like just being with myself. It's honestly one of my favorite things. It gives me so much time to think, plan, figure out the things that I want to do. It also gives you an opportunity to be able to heal yourself and to figure out all these questions about yourself and like kind of figure out why you are the way you are and move the way that you do. Since I started doing that, I figured out so much about myself, and I've answered so many questions about why I used to move the way that I did when I was younger. Now I'm able to like take that and like never have to be able to do that again, because now I know the reason why I did the things that I did, and I like forgave myself and I like moved past it. And I felt like being able to sit down with myself and like talking to myself and just knowing all the good things that I possess in myself set just such a high bar for myself, like self-worth wise. Having conversations with myself and just getting more insight about myself made my self-love grow tremendously. And it's because now I know who I am. I know my standard. I know what I bring. And like I can actually answer that. Like I know what I bring. I know I know the good traits about me. I know the bad traits about me. Like I know a lot about myself. And I'm always learning more. And I feel like when you know yourself a little bit better and you know the things that I can't talk when I do this lip liner, 1 second. When you get a chance to like get to know yourself a lot more, it helps you set a bar for yourself, and it makes your self-love grow so much more, because now you know who you are. Like you know what you bring to the table, you know what you're good at, you know what I mean? Like it's like you love yourself a lot more when you know yourself. So I feel like that's something I would tell anybody, is you need to get to know yourself. And you need to try to figure out on why you know, even the bad things that you did, like you need to figure out why you did the things that you did, and like being able to answer those questions and coming up with an answer, it will help you like not do them again and like move you closer to like where you want to go, if that makes sense. Who I was when I was 18 versus who I am now at 24, honestly, two different people. And I'm not even going to be mad at my younger self, because if I knew better, I would definitely would have done better. All of it is definitely a journey, and even though I wish I, like, myself right now could go to my younger self and tell myself all these things that I'm telling to myself, it definitely would have paid off, and I probably wouldn't have gone through the things that I've gone through, but then I wouldn't know the things that I know now, and my self-worth and my standard, my everything wouldn't be as high as it is now. No one can ever break my spirit, and I'm a very resilient person is one thing I've learned about myself throughout the years. And yeah, like, I'm always going to pick myself up and dust myself off, and I'm very grateful for all the lessons that have came on like my journey. The last thing I would tell myself is just that, girl, you are so beautiful. I don't know why you let these people play you. Why did you let them tell you that you are not beautiful? They wanted you to feel like you were not beautiful so you wouldn't know that you're beautiful and that you wouldn't unlock all this potential that you have within yourself, because they don't want to see that. They do not want to see that, especially for someone who looks like you. It's crazy for them to really take that in, especially with the personality that you have. You're the most likable person ever. People like being around you. People find comfort in you. You're loving, you're feminine, you're everything. All the things that you always search for in other people and that you praise other people for having, like, girl, you have them too. So don't let whatever these lies that people are filling your head with get into the way of what you gotta do, because you're the shit. You know who you are? You're Choi. John! Do you know who you are? Girl, you're Choi John. Get a grip. We move. Let's go. So that pretty much wraps up our chit chat. Get ready with me. Honestly, that was impossible. I don't know how people film and get ready and have a discussion at the same time. I hope I honestly made some valid points. I won't even know until I rewatch this video. But yeah, those are the things I would tell my younger self. I'm still going to be learning and growing and figuring myself out, so I don't ever think it's going to just stop because I'm a lot older now. Self-development is a marathon and it's very continuous, so I'm just excited to see what's ahead and what's to come for myself and what I'm gonna figure out about myself now that I'm a grown woman and can make a lot of better choices. I really enjoyed doing this sit-down discussion with you guys, so I think I'm going to be doing a lot more. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe on this video and share it as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.